Welcome back, viewers at home. Now, making a difference in the world begins with helping those in need. And I'm so excited and quite thrilled to be joined by the driving force behind Dr. Shouket Waja, the Waja Meno Dental Health Day, which is going to be commemorated on the 17th of September. And this day particularly, or rather the mission of it all, is to focus on enhancing oral health and improving the overall well-being of differently abled individuals, orphans, and destitute children. And for more on this, I'm so excited to invite the Dr. Waja. Thank you so much for joining us, and assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah so much for having me.
Now, before we get to the amazing work you're doing, I think it would be so unfair to not get to know the person who is doing the incredible work. And if you could be so kind to tell us, or rather just give us a brief story on who is Dr. Waja and really what propelled your, career decision in, taking up dentistry.
Well, I'm Shouket Waja, a dentist, living here in Johannesburg, originally from Brits. So with regards to what made me choose dentistry, nothing of an amazing story from the onset or from the front, but there is actually quite an interesting twist to the tale if you look at it holistically. So in essence, I became a dentist because my two brothers and sisters said to me, don't do medicine, it's very hard work, do dentistry. And hence I decided to sort of choose dentistry. But I think the interesting twist is I wasn't actually accepted for dentistry. And I actually went through a process of completely signing up to do accounting, a chartered accountant course.
Okay.
And what was amazing in that, I made that element of signing up for that course very much a part of my mother's experience as well. So my mother was very elderly at that point in time, and I'm the last born of 10 children.
Whoa.
So she had worked and sacrificed for us endlessly. So I took a with on that experience. We went to Wits University and I actually signed and registered completely for a BCom. And the day before varsity started, I get a call on a Friday immediately after mosque, and a person says to me, right, this is Wits University. We are offering you an opportunity to do dentistry. Would you like to take it or not? You have to decide now. And I virtually turned to my family on the side and I said, it's Wits, must I do dentistry or not? And they said, take it. And I accepted dentistry. And I therefore say, if you look at it in hindsight, you can see that element of a calling being there. Because had I gone into the BCom part, this entire aspect of the Waja Meno Trust and our care for these special kids would not have been there.
And we're so delighted that for that phone call, for Wits actually calling you. And I think this now brings me to now finding, because my curiosity is on the Waja Meno, because it's quite interesting and it's quite catchy, to say the least. And I want to find out from you in terms of why Waja Meno. I get your surname is Dr. Waja, but why Waja Meno and what really inspired that?
Crazy story. So we've been doing this work now for approximately 32 years, right?
Wow.
And we went about relatively sort of namelessly. I started doing this work from my first year as a dentist. And we started seeing to special needs kids, different able community, and we just went about doing the work. And for the people whose lives we were affecting and interacting, they knew about us. But the community at large perhaps didn't know so much about us. But as we grew, people started saying, but you got to have a name, you got to have a name. And then we had to decide on a name. Now, ironically, wherever I used to go to a shop or a teller, they would say, Waja, Waja, eat, Waja. So I got to understand that my surname actually means eat, and in Sutu, right? And so I thought, okay, why don't we create this name, Waja Meno, which means eat with teeth, and it would have my surname there as well, because people knew my surname by that point in time. And we then ran this concept past a UJ professor. He was on my dental chair. And he said to me, but that's perfectly good. Just go with the name Waja Meno. And we then went with that name. So it actually means eat with teeth. And it's a name that has stuck and just rhymes so well. And in fact, now most people call me Waja Meno as it is.
Wow, I'm so loving it for you, Doctor, because I think it's quite nice. It shows the connection you have with the people you work with. Because I think when a lot says, like when you think of a person's name or branding, it says a lot about the work they're doing, and it also reflects the effect they have on the society, if not the community as a whole. And I think this speaks volumes, because it was
Right.
quite staggering when I was looking at, just doing a brief research around dental health, and something we take for granted. I mean, we brush our teeth, we eat with it, we chew on things, but we don't
Yes.
understand how much care it really needs. And
Yes.
just seeing that not everybody has the privilege of accessing dental health care, it's something that hearing the likes of Dr. Waja are doing outside of their own means, it's something that we have to commend and celebrate. And
Thank
Jazakallah
you.
so much. May Allah reward you abundantly
Ameen.
for that.
Ameen.
And I think this brings me back to my other conversation in finding out more about Waja Meno, and the pioneer behind it, Dr. Waja, is what keeps you motivated to continue your work with differently abled and underprivileged children?
So I think there is a deep-seated care and a deep-seated passion for differently abled people. And it's a care that runs through my family. So my sister worked in a special needs school, and even as kids growing up, we used to go to that school and help those kids. And that's where the connection actually started. But I think it's a part of my natural disposition. I find it easier to be good to someone,
Wow.
right? So it just comes relatively easy to me. And that's where sort of the motivation comes from. But it's kept alive by us seeing the need and the changes we're making on a day-to-day basis in the lives of these differently able people. We really change lives. It's not difficult for us to see the impact and the effect we have on people. So we virtually change their lives from one setting or one scenario to another scenario. But I think over and above that also, it's very much being kept on track by the friends that you keep. So if you take, for example, our current Dental Health Day, in as much as we were inspired to do it, we've had a break for about 4 or 5 years due to the COVID factor. So we do this yearly. And then COVID came and disrupted the entire program. But it was my friends that kept on saying to me, and my colleagues, Dr. Waja, when is your next dental health day? And they basically kept me responsible and saying, you have to bring the next dental day up. And hence this year, with all of that drive and all of that, pressure, our next dental health day is up again after the COVID period.
Alhamdulillah. And I know that I didn't ask this in terms of, enlightening our viewers at home on the Wajaka Meno. Yes, we get the story behind it and the name behind it. But what would you, or how would you best describe the work and the programs that exist under Wajaka Meno?
So the Wajaka Meno truly is a unique organization, truly is unique. So broadly speaking, we provide all the different aspects of dental care.
Okay.
So that falls under the different umbrellas. So for example, just education. We extensively involved in education, dental education. We then extensively involved in providing the tools that they need to have good dental care. Your toothbrushes, your toothpaste. We started this year, and it started just with an intention and something crazy, and we started saying, we want to reach the darkest corners of Africa. So if you look at our Instagram page, you'll see constantly the darkest corners of Africa. And once we made that intention, we're currently doing it right now. So we have structured programs where, for example, in the beginning of this year, we went to the most dangerous, most notorious areas of Cape Town, right? These various areas that you see now where the ganglands are, they have taken control. And we, for example, in that space, delivered approximately 5,000 toothbrushes and toothpaste in those areas. Currently, we have similar programs reaching Malawi, reaching locally Lesotho, reaching KZN, and those programs are taking place. So that's one part which falls under our banner of reaching the darkest corners. But initially, we really started as an education program with our dental health day being at the forefront. But now, what I really have to share with people is, whilst you guys are interviewing me, the Wajaka Meno Trust really belongs to hundreds of dentists in South Africa. So we see kids on a day-to-day basis from various institutions, and our various dentists come and provide free dental care to these children. Right? So that's the day-to-day element that takes place. People always enjoy the big stories that we say. So what happens from our basic dental care, it sort of progresses to whereby we do extensive, huge operations on their mouths, transforming their faces, to extensive orthodontic treatment that takes place. And if the children need anything beyond that in terms of medical care, we make the medical care also accessible to them. So that would be surgery, that would be things like speech and hearing, that would be life coaching, that would be physiotherapy. We really are blessed with an amazing community. So when the need is there, we have people that just, raise their hands and say, right, we're ready for that. So the care goes right across that. And I think one of the key things that the Waja Meno is known for is providing entertainment to these kids as well.
Ooh.
So not only are we there fixing their teeth and making them better, but we also there to enhance their self-esteem, and they know us to be an organization such as that whereby they can come and really have a nice time while having their dental care done.
Allahumma barik, may Allah continue to bless Wajaka Meno because it's doing amazing work. And I know that when kids learn through play, it's something that sticks to their mind, that even on their laziest day, they will say the Dr. Waja was like, we should do it like this. And be correcting everyone in the family who's probably not brushing their teeth in the correct way.
If I may just interject, what you're saying there was and continues to be the game changer for the Waja Meno Trust. So the moment we introduce a different spin in terms of entertainment and in terms of how we're delivering the message, it changed everything. So in other words, when we were going to schools and teaching them how to brush your teeth, look, as good as you are, it's going to get boring, right? Now, once we started introducing song and a bit of dance, we started realizing altogether how differently they interacted with us. And the message drove home, and they would remember a song for years down the line. And that really was a game changer and continues to be a big part of how we deliver our dental care to the people.
Certainly. And Doctor, with that, I want to ask you quite an important question, because as I mentioned earlier on, when you look at dental care, it's, downplayed. And I think it has become such a luxury for those who can, and not so much of a luxury for those who can't afford it or have access to it, which is, if you can just kindly elaborate to us the importance of holistic care and how the program helps to create a sense of joy to the kids outside of, making it seeming like if you don't brush your teeth will fall out.
100%. Such a powerful question here, because it goes across a few sort of levels. So the first thing is holistic dental care for every one of us, myself, yourself, is hugely important, right? One of the things that's so important to any of us today is our looks. This is the reality. So we would find an 85-year-old person coming in and a 95-year-old person generally coming in, and they are concerned about how they look. Similarly, all these kids that we're seeing, our special needs kids and the differently able kids, are also concerned about their look. So that's the one part. So making sure that that is good automatically enhances every activity on the day-to-day basis. We've got a girl right now that I'm going to share with you. Her name is Jessica. And she would walk around with her hand over her mouth all the time. She comes from Sebokeng. And the teacher actually says, can you please help Jessica, because she didn't like the way her teeth looks. She's now gone through an extensive program of dental treatment, gingival surgery, and orthodontic treatment, and her entire life has changed. So she's not walking around with her hand in front of her mouth anymore. And that is just one of the examples of people whose lives have changed. Over and above that, obviously our general health. Our mouth directly impacts on our health, impacts on our oral health, and impacts on our body health. So if we've got gingivitis, if we've got poor oral care, it results in a septicemia in our whole body. It makes us more prone to heart infections. It makes us prone to sugar diabetes, even Alzheimer's disease. So when you approach and provide good dental care, you're really addressing all of these needs that the person does have.
Doctor, unfortunately, we are running out of time, but I have so much to ask. But I'm just going to ask this question, and I'm hoping that maybe through time I'd get to ask the others. It's a very important question, and I believe you're a very fitting individual to answer this, seeing the work that you're doing and how intentional and close to your heart the work that you continue doing is, in terms of creating a more inclusive society that supports the needs and aspirations of differently abled individuals and children. How important is that, looking at South Africa and other parts of the world?
Powerful question. So this element of inclusivity is such a strong element, and we're seeing it in so many different spheres of life. But let's stick to the point because of the time issue. So inclusivity now is the reason why we got involved with the Waja Meno Trust, because with our special needs community, and really these are just angels sent here for a period of time, but we saw that they were sidelined. You know, they would stay in their homes. People would not talk about them. They would have no access to dental care. They would have no access to work. And hence, our whole process was to have a system that makes them more inclusive into society. But let me highlight one thing to you. There's actually a global movement now where there's an appreciation of when we use the term differently able, there is an appreciation of the talent and the skills that these people have that you and I don't have.
Oh, yes.
And now people are beginning to headhunt differently able people to find solutions to the problems that you and I cannot solve. So as we know, the workspace is changing, society's activities are changing, and the workspace of the future will be very different from what we see now. We talk about AI, we talk about robotics, but our periods of work in a particular space will change dramatically and will become much shorter and so on. Corporates now are headhunting people that, as we know, we call them, they are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So all of us are on the spectrum from some level to the other, whether we're autistic or we can't speak properly or we can't articulate properly, whatever it might be, we're all on the spectrum at some level. And corporates are now selecting people that are on the spectrum for their ability to think out of the box and the ability to find solutions that you and I cannot see.
Exciting times that we're certainly looking forward to,
certainly
because
is.
they've certainly been left behind for far too long. It's high time they come out and shine in their numbers.
Absolutely.
And I think in closing, I'd like to find out from you, Doctor, in terms of the event in question that's going to be taking place on the 17th of September. How much is the entrance, if there is a fee, when it will be taking place, date, time, all those details that you believe we should know to make it to the event, and any closing shots regarding our important conversation on dental health care.
So the event's taking place on the 17th of September. That's next week, Wednesday. It's taking place in Roshni at the Inyata venue. It is an insane event. That's all I can share with the people. There's no entrance fee, so you can come free of charge. People that have come previously, for example, parents, cousins of the kids, always tell us, please let us know when the next one is. On that day, we virtually host about 800 differently able kids. So these are kids from different schools, different communities. We've got huge support from corporates and families and friends. So Spurs will be there to make burgers, fresh burgers for the kids. Polar Ice Cream is going to be there to have ice cream for the kiddies. We spoil them on that day. That day is not a day of dental treatment. It's a treat. So the first aspect or the first phase is just like a carnival atmosphere, like how you'd go to the neighbor goods market or the rent show. They come out there and there's gifts and there's toys and they're playing games and that kind of stuff. That's the first part. The second part is where they go into a sort of an auditorium where we have plays for them. These plays consist of plays done by the kids, songs done by myself and my staff. Then we have professional performers like circus acts and comedians and so on. So it's really an afternoon of entertainment, but all under the umbrella of dental education. So throughout the process, Colgate will be there. They'll be doing dental education. Every child will leave with a gift pack that will have toothbrushes, toothpaste, sweets and goodies and soaps and sanitizing things and that kind of stuff for their general health and that as well. So it's free of charge, 17th of September.
Jazakallah so much for that insightful conversation. We have really learned a lot, and how making a difference doesn't always, mean being a billionaire to make a difference, or just, sticking to, what you do best and thinking that, what, if I'm giving my zakat and I'm giving my sadaqah, that should compensate. And seeing individuals like yourself going outside of their way to making the change and making quite a generational change at that. Jazakallah so much, Dr. Waja, for joining us.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Viewers at home, that was my vibrant guest this evening, sharing in on how you... Trust you me, I mean, he made the idea of dental care quite exciting. It's not so dreadful as we usually hear. Floss, brush your teeth, like, oh, okay, today I'm sure you're so motivated to go and brush your teeth and floss and scrape the tongue. But viewers at home, that was Dr. Shouket Waja sharing in on all things. What does the Waja Meno be doing, and the event that you can look forward to this next Wednesday on the 17th of September.